Welcome to the session on strings, library function. The last session we have discussed about string. String is a collection of characters. It's a 1D, 1D array of type character. And we have seen that, strings always is terminated by a null character. And you have seen that you can initialize strings using, single character followed by a null character. Also, we can put in no double quote itself. And at that particular point of time, you don't have to put the null character itself. And we have seen some examples. And if you really want to, what do you say, uh, want to insert, want to input a string, and the format specifier that we required is a percentage as itself. And I've seen, right, we have written character name, and then we have tried to count the number of A's in the particular string itself and all. Okay. Now, in this session, we'll be talking about the library function. There are inbuilt some kind of library function itself. We're going to discuss each of that, and also we can write our own code. I'm not going to elaborate each of this particular library function because subsequent videos I'll be talking each of this library function, and I will going to demonstrate using in C programming itself. Okay. So having said this, so right, we can write our own C code to do different operation on string, like finding the length of the string, copying one string to another, appending one string to the end of the other strings and all. Right, what mean to say that we can have our own code, right? If you want to find the length of the string, if you really want to copy one string to another, suppose we want to concatenate two string itself, so we can write our own code. But still, C provides some standard library functions. Okay. And these are actually bundled up into a header file which we call as string.h, right? So after the beginning of your program, after has include stdio.h, we typically put has include string.h. So string.h has the collection of the standard functions of function of the strings, like finding the length of the string, copying a string, string concatenation, reversing a string, and all those things, right? Okay. So here we see some of the example. Okay, like strlen, usually you find the length of a string. Strcat, you concatenate one string to at the end of another string. So right. So if I write Bhupesh Deka, okay, two different string. If I concatenate, right. So Bhupesh is the one string, then a Deka is another, so it will become Bhupesh Deka, right? Compared to string, lexicographically. So you have to understand what do you mean by the lexicography. We will be discussing more on what we understand by lexicography when we will be talking about string compare itself. Okay, right? And then in string copies one string to another itself. Okay, so having said this, if you really want to find the string length, then this the library function is strlen. Okay, so it is take a constant character, as an input itself. Okay, and how will you going to check the length is till we find the null character itself, and null character is not a part of the length. So if I write Bhupesh, Bhupesh, 7 characters followed by null character, so 7 is the size of the character itself. Okay, and in simply I can use this if this is my constant character s. Okay, so in n equal to 0 and star of n is not equal to null, so I'm increasing the pointer pointing to the null character till it is null character. I'm just adding this what do you say, the value of n, and then once I get, then I return it. So return the length of the string, and not counting the null character. That's what we need to remember. Okay, and we see this is what library function. Okay, we cannot change the content of s in the function because it's a constant. That is what it is written, right? And we will see how we can demonstrate our own string land when I will be talking about completely on the string land video itself. Okay, then we have string cat. You need to concatenate two string. If I have a character string 1 s1 and a constant character s2 itself, right? And then I can concatenate. What I have to do, I have to go to the end of s1, and after that, okay, I will traverse this s2 and I will just add into s1. You can see here. Okay, so I have this string s1 and then is a constant character s2, so I'm not changing this. And here it is not constant of s1 because I'm changing it, because I'm adding s2 with into s1, right? So I take a character pointer p, okay, pointing to s1 until it is not null. I go to the end, plus plus p, and then I start traversing S2 till it is not null, and I simply copy it. So star of P is equal to star of S2 itself, and increment both the pointer P and both the pointer S itself. Okay, and then at the end I just simply put null character at the end of this, right? So this is what the function itself for string cat itself. Okay, so more in details, again I have a video where I will be writing my own program, not using even pointer, it's a normal also. Okay, right? But here as you have already gone through the pointer itself, so I take a pointer pointing to s1, okay, and then I traverse till the end of my null character. Okay, my still the content is null character, so I increment this pointer, so I go to the end. After that I take s2 and till I traverse till it is null character, then I just put the content into P, increment the pointer of P by 1, then increment the pointer by S2. Okay, right? And this is what the copy comes up to be, right? I'm copying it. And at the end, I put a null character. So star P will be nothing but we are talking about this S1 itself, and then I return the S1. Okay, so then come the string compare. Okay, two string are arguments. An integer is returned that is less than, equal to, or greater than 0 depending on whether x is lexicographically less than, equal to, or greater than s2, right? So maybe like if you have something like that, if the s1, if s1 value, okay, is greater than s2 value, then it will return s1, return 1. So we are talking about string, means we are talking about character. So the character of s1 is greater than the character of s2, okay, lexicographically. So then we call it, we return 1. Okay, if s2 is greater, then we return minus 1. Okay, right? So let me tell you what do you mean by lexicographic. Okay. Okay, so lexicographically, usually, we're talking about the dictionary way, right? So typically, if you look into dictionary, A come first, then come B, then C, so alphabetically order itself. So now, if star of, okay, S1, okay, is greater, content of S1 is greater than S2, then you'll return 1, okay? If star of S2, okay, if the second strings is greater than the first string, then it will return minus 1, okay? And if the first string itself is null, return 1. If the second string itself is null, okay, it will return minus 1. Now thing is, it will just see, right? Or otherwise it will going to return 0. When it will return 0, when the string are same. So what exactly we are doing here? Okay, so I'm traversing this particular string 1, okay, and this particular string 2 itself, right? Then each of this character I'm comparing. Suppose this s1 and s2, then I'm returning 1, I'm returning minus 1. Now if they are both equal, so this for loop will continue to move. Okay, right? And once if both are equal, means this particular thing will also not come, because s1 and s2 are both equal, so it will return 0. Now suppose I have a string like a, another is a b, right? So a it will be same, right? After that you have a nothing will be there, yes, and only b will be there. So okay, so it will, if s1 is not, it will, then it will return minus 1, because s1 already we got a null character. Now s2 is there, so we'll get minus 1. So this will be more clear when I will be talking about the string compare in the next video itself. But try to understand here, okay, about the what you say program and all. The logic is that I am trying to compare each of these character, okay, lexicographically or alphabetically order. If both the character are same, so if I have a string a and again a, so a small and small, both are same, so it will return 0. Now if I have a string of the a, right, a and b, right, then it is something like I will return minus 1. Okay, already string 1 is completed. Now if I a b and a, then it will return 1. Okay, right? So similarly, if I have a, right, and if I have a b itself, So a is greater than b, return 1, or if this b and suppose say it is b and a, then it will return -1 and all. So what is happening, each of these character, if they are same, okay, then it will return 0, okay, and if the characters are not same, so either will be returning 1 or -1 itself. Okay, so we have understood string compare. Yes, right, string copy. So what we will going to do, just if you take this two characters string, right, then the character in string 2 are copied into string 1 until this is moved. Okay, whatever exists in S1 is overwritten. It is assumed that S1 has enough space to hold the result. Okay, what is doing that, the content of S2 will be written in content of S1. Already if S1 is there inside, then it will be overwritten itself. Okay, like, okay, see, I have those two string, yes, and then p pointer pointing to s1, okay, and then I simply copying it, okay. So I'm booking what you say, just traversing, just adding this particular content of s2 into the s1 itself. Once it is done, I'm just returning the s1, okay, right. So I put a character pointer p which is pointing to s1, okay, and then each of the content of s2, each of this character, I'm just adding into s1 itself, okay, and once I done, then I'm returning the s1. So I will have the string s2 copied to s1, okay. So that's what the functions for the string copy itself, okay. So this is some example using string itself, okay. If I write s1 is something like get off a website for engineers, okay, and s2 I write please visit. So length of s1 it will going to give, okay, right, string length of what you say, s2 plus 8, okay, string comparing, okay, what is the value that we get and all, okay. So this particular thing, mostly what I will do is that we'll not going to discuss in this particular session itself, okay. What I will going to do, once we are completed with with all these functions, having written in stringlen compare and all these things, okay, I will take a small example, and then I will come back to this particular example itself, because there we have to understand all the values itself and all these things, right? Okay, so having said this, okay, so I hope you have understood the function itself. So the function, we have the library function as string length to in order to find the length of the string, okay. Then we have the string concatenation, okay, yes. So we are taking two argon s1 and s2 itself, and we are adding the content of s2 into s1. String compare, we are comparing both string 1 and string 2. If both are equal, with the returning 0, okay, and depending upon s1 and s2, we are returning 1 and -1. And how we are checking it, we are checking it lexicographic, that is we are thinking in terms of alphabetical or dictionary order itself, and we are copying one string to another. So if I write characters as star s1 s2, so uh, uh, the content of s2 we are adding into s1, okay. So that's what for the string itself, and I hope you it is clear to all of you, okay. As I told you, in the next video we will be talking about each of this string land, string compare and all these things, and at the last I will be showing you some example that I have just shown you, like small example, and later into in a bigger part itself. So thank you, and keep watching my video.